This is the kind of crap that I've always been talking about with Hollywood. This is why let's just say I really, really don't like Hollywood. Let's just put it that way. They're all a bunch of freaks, man. Everything's controlled by demons. I reacted to the whole quiet on set stuff whenever it happened way back when. I don't even remember. Was it a year ago? More than that? I don't, it's like somewhere around there. I think it was around this time last year, maybe. But what happened to Drake is what I've been saying happens to everybody. And it's happening kind of on a smaller level, on a lower level with the streamer community. And we'll get into that, about the kind of abuse that goes on there. And I think everybody knows it. They're just not thinking about it. Hollywood is disgusting, man. Los Angeles is a vile place. I do not like.
Quiet on Set came out, everyone goes after this big bad man, when during all of that, the president of the network that had to sign off on every single script, every single joke, was a woman, because...
Oh, you don't say. So they can't talk about it because she's a woman. But she's the boss of the boss's bosses.
It's Nickelodeon, we get nothing for it. There's 3 channels doing Drake and Josh marathons. Netflix just bought it, it's top 10 on Netflix, and I gotta figure out how to pay my rent this month.
Yep, ain't that about a bitch. And we all know it. It just sucks that it happened to him when he was a kid.
Documentary was the first time really anybody knew what happened to you.
Everyone knew what happened in the industry, and everyone loved him. He had these 41 letters of support. I would work with...
Yeah, that's what I say, man. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Whenever something like this happens, it makes waves, but they all stay silent. Because nobody wants to be the first one to speak up. Because what if you speak up and nothing happens and everybody knows that you're the one who spoke up, and you just get blacklisted, you lose your job, your entire life crashes around you. Completely blacklisted. And in many cases, forfeit your life.
This person tomorrow. These letters are up.
You referenced you and your dad having some sort of falling out. What do you think you'll do to avoid some sort of situation like that with your son?
I don't know.
Today on Unplanned, we sat down with...
I could say, you know, don't let him be a victim to Hollywood. Don't get them all mixed up with a bunch of creepy adults. You know what? Don't let any kind of adults dictate anything with your child's life. That's probably a pretty good step to take, especially when you're somebody who came out of the abuse of Hollywood.
With none other than Drake Bell. Now, if you're like me, I hadn't really seen Drake since the Drake and Josh days, but I had absolutely no idea until the documentary Quiet on Set came out that he was abused as a minor. The abuse...
True, same. I heard some stuff about it, but like nobody knew, really. Well, people in Hollywood knew, but the masses, they didn't know because Hollywood stayed silent about it. Everybody knew. They all knew. They always know.
Abuse happened in the early 2000s before Drake and Josh began filming. In this interview, Drake shares the lifelong impact the abuse has had on his career, why he doesn't receive residuals from Drake and Josh, and so much more.
Yeah, well, that makes me not want to watch Drake and Josh. Like, it's completely out of the question for me to rewatch that show, and it sucks, man, because I really liked that show growing up, and I think it's probably still really funny. I just can't. It ain't the same.
A really big part of our generation's childhood. How does that feel whenever you go out and like go to the grocery store?
Growing up, I've had encounters and interactions where I see people who I've like grew up on or that like shaped my childhood, and I get to meet them, and sometimes they're cool and sometimes they're not cool. And when they're cool, it's like, oh my God, that was the coolest experience. I'm gonna keep that forever. And then when they're not cool, you're like, oh man, what a bummer, because they kind of like ruined it for you. And
yeah.
Like there was one time I met Ray Charles. I was at an audition. I see Ray Charles around.
Oh no, not Ray Charles. I've heard lots of terrible things about Ray Charles.
On the corner, I'm like, Dad, I just saw Ray Charles. Ray Charles just went around the corner. And my dad's like,
I don't care about no Ray Charles. Get into this here.
So Jackie Coogan was an actor back in the day. I don't know if you know Charlie Chaplin, the kid. That's Jackie Coogan. Okay. And his parents pilfered a bunch of a ton of his money when he was a kid, and so they created the Coogan account, which takes 30% of all.
Coogan account? Well, if you want to learn more about that, you can do that. I don't want to hear about history. I'm here for the drama. What people get wrong about Dan Schneider.
When the president of Nickelodeon, during all of that, was a woman. And no one, I have not seen in one documentary, I have not seen in one YouTube video, everyone goes after one person.
Okay.
The president of the network was a woman that had to sign off on every single script, had to sign off on every single edit of every single show, had to sign off on every single joke.
What was it that you're talking about? Why he doesn't get residuals? Why he went bankrupt? So that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the money. Probably not exactly the, like, SA or anything. Or, you know, straight up rape. I don't know why I said SA and then just said rape. Anyway.
The president was Seema, and you had Paula Kaplan who was second in command.
So you didn't think that they did?
Two women. They're watching so all of these things that they're clipping together that are saying, oh, they're putting these girls in these situations, this and this and this and this. People are like forgetting that they're like, our bosses had bosses.
So true. That's exactly what I said, man. The bosses have bosses. And the bosses of those bosses know everything that the bosses do. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And if they don't, they're straight up retarded, which some of them I guarantee were. Some of them played the role of a retard, but were actually really smart, and they were snakes. And odds are, most likely, demons!
And those two bosses were women that were, like, everything that everyone's mad about, go say those two names, because those are the two, that's who signed off on every single, you couldn't put a joke in an episode without them saying it's okay. You couldn't put an outfit on, you couldn't dress me.
Yeah, all the creepy stuff that Dan Schneider put in there at the end of the day was allowed by Nickelodeon. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Like, we can't just look at one person whenever everybody gets excited. We got to look at everybody. It's like all these people that are employing children and are hanging around children all the time. They like, and that's their job. They have to be completely 100% vetted. The information has to be out there. Like, they're public figures, man. They're public figures. Why are they allowed to just be in the shadows doing all this crazy nonsense?
In blue jeans, if they said they wanted black jeans.
Yeah.
Like, this is the boss, head boss.
Why do you think the documentaries singled out certain people and then left out those names?
Well, we're getting deep here. Let's move on. Because there's a cabal.
Right there. Exactly. That's the problem with all of it. There's a cabal. A cabal of extremely evil people. And I don't even think they mean to be evil. I think they're just really, really stupid. Some of them definitely do. But I think those are the people who are making lots and lots of money. And they just don't care. Some of them are involved in voodoo. Did he?
That's why. Because it's a whole thing.
There's just a lot of money, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, a lot of money and a lot of evil deeds that are loosely connected enough to make a whole web of disgusting evil bullshit. Because not everybody's doing the same evil shit. It's just evil shit. A little here, a little there, a little everywhere. And eventually it all just there's so much shit, it turns into a pile of shit. And let me tell you, it fucking stinks.
Mm-hmm.
I guess people that have money have power, and they can probably pull some strings to
people. And it's not even people with money necessarily, too. It's connection. In this town, it's connection.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a web of disgusting bullshit.
Connections too. You know, it's like you don't necessarily have to be super rich, but
if you know the right people
connected. I mean, that's what happened with my situation, and I think that's why Brian was able to do all of the things that he did, because he was just such a connector. He was the
If anybody doesn't know who Brian is, that's the guy who did all of the terrible things that everybody talks about.
Forrest Gump of Hollywood. Like, if Brian knew everyone, and everyone loved him, and so he was able to get people. You know,
he was Drake's molester. Let's put it that way, because I don't really remember the story. I don't want to say he raped him or anything. That might have straight up happened. I don't know. I don't put it past him.
Able to make you feel like, oh, hey, if you come into my circle, I could, things could happen, and you could meet people that you could further your career and this and that, and
Yeah, did he? Like, if we're canceling all these people, why is Diddy allowed to go free? This is so fucked up.
And this is a town that is a normal thing.
I guess because children are involved. You know, that's a good point. That's a good point, me.
And it's not always a predatory thing. It's like, this is a town of being social and meeting people. Oh, this guy knows that guy. And oh, how'd you meet that director? Oh, dude, my friend and I.
Yeah, that's what like, it's crazy. Like, I know exactly what's going on. It's so easy to see it. Because everything I'm saying, Drake, I did not pre-watch this. I promise.
My friend invited me to this thing, and I met, and my other friend was there, and he was a friend of this guy, and I got to meet him, and we did this thing. And so that's like a normal thing about this town. And
yeah, there's just a little bit of evil here, a little bit of evil there. And most people, like, most of the time are just having a good time, but every once in a while, there's a little bit of evil here, a little, you know? And that's how you get a web of disgusting bullshit.
So when somebody has the opportunity to, like, use that as, to weaponize that, basically, is so it doesn't always have to be like some, you know, rich, famous person, you know.
What were your initial thoughts of the documentary?
I mean, my initial thoughts were, I got to tell my story, and I was terrified that I had actually said all of this and told people what happened.
I think he's kind of a hero of Hollywood, honestly.
To me, and that everyone knows. And but when I finally sat down and got to like watch my part of it, there was kind of like a breath of fresh air of like, okay, phew, like, if
who's hating on this guy? Who's hating on Drake Bell after all of this? Pretty much nobody. You either don't know about this whole situation, you just kind of heard about it and you're like, oh, that sucks, or you're like me and you make content out of it. You're like, nobody's shitting on this guy.
If I was ever going to tell my story, that was a pretty impactful and well done way to do it. You know, because I always thought about it, like, and that's one of the cool things about, I guess, one of the nice things about my story being out is, you know, I used to all the time just, am I ever going to tell my story? What if this ever comes out? What's the reaction going to be? What are people going to think? And it's just constant, you know? Now I don't have that anymore. I know, you know? I would always think, like, what am I going to say it on a podcast or in an interview? Some people, like, if I'm going to tell my story, like, it should be like in a, you know, am I going to write a book? Like, that's going to take, you know, how do I do it? And so I got that opportunity, which I'd said no to 100 times, and then finally it'd come around and said, maybe, you know.
Honestly, I think a podcast would have been the best way to do it, like he's doing now. I think he's figured that out now. Podcasts are the better way to do it. Just sit down and have a conversation.
I'd gone to rehab. I'd done a bunch of, like, group therapy and hearing people share their stories, and I was...
Yeah, he, like, really went through all of the Hollywood stuff. He even went through all the rehab, everything. Like, he knows all the ins and outs of how everything works. And when he explains it, I'm like, well, shit, that's what I thought it was like. I guess I was right.
I was kind of like, oh, okay. I'm not alone in this, and other people have trauma too. And, oh, okay, these people are here because of, you know, substance abuse or whatever. They're here for rehab, but...
Yeah, they're all like everybody in Hollywood. They're all just a bunch of freaks with bruised souls. Some of them are broken souls. Some of them, their lights probably have completely flickered out, and there's no coming back.
When we're in our group sessions, none of them's talking about, oh, I drink because, and I struggle with this drug or that drug. They're all talking about, like, the trauma in their past and all about their things that have happened to them in their lives. And you're like, oh, like, that's helping me kind of...
Yeah, you look around at people all around you, and you see how fucked up everybody is. And then you go to Hollywood and you just like, oh, no, these people are great. They're the best people on earth. They are exactly how they are portrayed in the media. They're all amazing people. Like, what? What kind of lies are you telling yourself? That's why I don't get all the people who glaze Pedro Pascal all the time. It's like, obviously, all of these crazy weirdo fucks like Pedro Pascal. It's all the same people that were involved with all, like, the same stuff Drake Bell is talking about. And everybody just eats it up. Not everybody. Like, way too many people. It's way too big a percentage. And every time. Feel
like I can talk and not be judged. And these people just want to see me get better. Like, they're not judging my past or my choices or my anything. Like, they just want to see me come out the other side, because they know that the other side is going to make all this stuff that's behind you like dust in the wind, you know? So like, just get to the other side. Like, let's just, you know, and I've never been in an environment where people are, you know, no judgment, no, you know, I'm not reading the internet all day, and, you know, I'm making friends, and these other people are hurting too, and they're sharing their stories, and then and these other hurt people are coming to me and help and like supporting me. And like, I'm like, dude, how are you giving me like support right now with the story that I just heard you tell in group? Like, how do you even have it in you to come and pat me on the back and say it's going to be okay?
Yeah.
You know? And so that sort of like started bringing me out of my shell, you know? And so when I got out and they approached me again, and you know, it was like, let's go talk. Let's go sit down and let me talk to you, I'm gonna feel you guys out. And I eventually just kind of got to the point where I was like, maybe this is a good way to finally do this, you know.
The documentary was the first time that really anybody knew about what happened to you, but I guess somebody.
I had some inklings because I'd seen Drama YouTube. Drama YouTube is the best, man. I love Drama YouTube, because a lot of times they'll have stuff like this. People will be talking about it before anything comes out, because they're like, hey, I just binge watched every show on Nickelodeon from the years 1995 to 2005. There are people that do this, and they're like, this show's a little bit weird. All these shows by this guy, and then they'll autistically just look through all the people who worked on the show, and they figure out who all these people are, and they're just like, hey, these people are fucking weird. All this stuff is weird, and it's like all connected. What's going on here? Like, people figure shit out, and then they make YouTube videos about it. It's great. It's terrible. It's terrible that it happens, but like, being able to make your own content on a just video platform like this and nobody know about it, and then all of a sudden everybody knows about it, that's great. I love that so much. Because there's stuff that can exist out there. It'll have like 10,000 views for the longest time. Nobody knows about it. And then one person comes along and they're like, hey, what is this? And they share it, and then it gets millions upon millions of views. It happens all the time.
Somebody must have known something to, I guess, approach you about the documentary, right? So like, who knew about what happened? Had you just like shared it with some close friends and family, or was there somebody at...
So people knew.
People did know.
Because there was a big...
They always know. Everybody's just a bunch of weirdo freak liars all the time. Whenever you bring up evil stuff and people like push back against you and be like, no, there's nothing going on. They're fucking evil liars too. Because there's always evil shit going on. Whenever we look at something, we're like, hey, I think evil shit's going on. It's probably evil shit going on.
Case, and there was people were at the courtroom. I mean, it was everyone in Hollywood knew.
Okay.
You know.
Did they know it was you specifically, or did they just think it was some...
The majority of people knew. I mean, a lot of the younger actors on Nickelodeon, a lot of the younger people, of course, didn't. But any adult and any person, I mean, everyone knew what happened in the industry.
How did that make you feel?
It was horrible. It was horrible, because every audition room you walk into, everything. And then, you know, he had these 41 letters of support that were written by, you know, Alan Thicke, TV's favorite dad. You know, it's like America's favorite dad. Like, I would work with this person.
And you know, it would suck. It would really suck if Drake Bell was the only one that it happened to, and it was just an outlier case. But this shit keeps happening. Over and over and over again.
Tomorrow. You just see what he admitted to, and you're just like, he's a great guy. Like, amazing. And you have all of these producers and directors and I mean, people who literally like direct every kid's show that we grew up on, writing letters of support for this person after what he'd done to me. So
yeah, that is insane. You can look up that list. You can look up the list for the letters of support. It's fucking crazy. Actually, we'll do that right now. James Marsden, celebrity who wrote a letter of support for Brian Peck during his sentencing. Alan Thicke, Ryder Strong, Will Friedle, Richard and Beth Coral, Joanna Kearns, and Tom DeSanto. That's so many people. Who are these people? I don't actually even know. I think I do know a couple of them. Directors of Drake and Josh who wrote letters of support for Brian Peck. This is one of the things that hurts me. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna look up who these people are. Who's this? James Marston? Oh, this guy. Okay. Yeah, I've seen James Marston. Alan Thicke. I've seen this guy in some stuff. Oh, this is Gordy. This is Gordy? Plays dad? And I don't know. I don't know who he plays. How about Ryder Strong? Oh, Ryder Strong? That's the guy from Cabin Fever. I know this guy. Oh, he was also in Boy Meets World. Is that right? Will Friedle. Friedle. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Oh, the other guy from Boy Meets World. Okay. Well, a bunch of actors from that. The Richard and Beth Coral. Or Corell? I don't know. Who are these people? Bunch of weirdo Hollywood freaks, I can tell you that. Rich Coral. I don't believe I know who this person is. Let's go into the images. That kid. Yeah, I don't believe that I know this guy. But he's been in Hollywood for a very, very, very long time. Joanna Kearns. And if anybody's got some more information about these people, drop them down there in the comments. Joanna Kearns. Alright, I've seen her. Don't remember what she plays in. She's definitely been in stuff. And you know what? I guarantee somebody's going to bring up politics because some of these people have all different politics from all different walks of life. Some of them are leftist, some of them are right wing. I don't care. I don't care about the political shit. Who's this guy? Tom DeSanto. I don't remember what I've seen this guy in, but I've seen him in things. I've seen him places. Movie producer Tom DeSanto. I've probably seen him in documentaries or something. All right, let's continue this. Where were we?
So you start to think, if that many people went out on a limb and put their name to paper. I mean, these are people who, I mean, you would think that if once the letters came out, their careers would be over, but they're not. They're all working and they're all having a fantastic time.
Always, every single time. Doing great. Living their best life.
I mean, James Marsden can't stop working. I don't understand it. I mean, you read.
Hey, that's the guy we looked up just a second ago, James Marsden. That was the first guy.
Read these letters and they're unbelievable, you know. Blaming me, it's my fault, I pursued this person and
It doesn't matter because he was a child. It does not matter. That's insane. That's an insane take.
I broke them down and they were, what was the one yesterday?
This child seduced me. Like, how fucking insane is that? That is your defense, and people actually try to defend you with that stance.
I read it was pressured beyond belief. I'm like, I was 14. I just got my first girlfriend. Like, trust me, I wasn't trying to like go after the 40-year-old fat, gross troll man on my set. Okay, like, trust me. But the crazy thing is you read these letters, and even if I was. I'm like trying to read these letters and I'm like putting the logic in my brain. I'm like, and I was reading them with a friend of mine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he instigated or like, it's so crazy. He was 14. Does not matter if he instigated it or not. And by the way, they took down what's his name, the actor, for doing something similar. House of Cards guy. I don't remember his name. No, it doesn't matter. I just remembered. It was Kevin Spacey. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah. This guy.
And I looked up and I was like, dude, let's do a hypothetical right now. Let's say I was just in love with this person. I was enamored. I wanted nothing more than to have that person. These letters are still
Yeah.
These letters are still, it's like, there's no logical thinking human that could ever make this scenario.
And also, it got squashed by Hollywood. Hollywood just like kept going like nothing was happening. They reported it a little bit. Well, Hollywood didn't really report it. They pretended to report it and then they shut up about it. They were like, well, there's the articles we made about it. We took accountability. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. And then nobody did until a documentary came out. Again, And now we got these podcasts coming out. And it's starting to look really bad for Hollywood, especially when they're pushing all these people super hard, and it's all the same people that are involved in all this stuff, you know? Same type of people that do this creepy, weird, evil bullshit that Hollywood does. Everybody can see it. And they're like, no, you want to watch Pedro Pascal. Don't you like Tom Holland? Ariana Grande, you remember that singer girl? Well, she's an actress now. She's gonna be a ballerina. It's fucking insane. And they're just like acting like weird, creepy people, like demons, like skinwalkers.
Okay. And every single letter is just, it's my fault, and I pressured him, and it's not his fault, and what happened was because of me, and
And these letters are considered like proof of character letters or something
yeah,
like that.
it's basically like what Ashton wrote for Danny.
What other...
That's a whole other situation in and of itself that I'm not going to get into right now, man. That's a rabbit hole. Ugh. Maybe someday. Maybe when a podcast comes out about it.
It's
crimes are you allowed to present a judge with?
Every crime.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that just seems...
So basically what it is when you commit a crime, then you're going to be sentenced, right?
Okay, yeah.
So now you have the ability to have your community come out and say, hey, look, I know that the maximum sentence for your crime is 2 years, okay? Mm-hmm. You stole something. 2 years. But listen, she's a great mother. She's an upstanding citizen. She works at I'm her employer, and she's never shown up late. She's always been a great blah, blah, blah. Next person comes up. She's in da-da-da-da. Well, now the judge can go, you know what? How about 50 hours of community service and you have a nice day? Mm. Or they can go, hey, which in my case, the judge said, because I had him on tape, like admitting every single thing that he did, like graphically admitting everything he did.
And without that, there wouldn't have been the conviction, right? Like
there would have been the conviction because there was other evidence.
There was,
but
okay.
that it would have been much harder.
Yo, that guy. What? I wonder what's happening to him in prison. I wonder, because everybody knows about him. Everybody knows who he is. They probably have to tuck him away. He's in isolation. He's probably fucking insane. Well, he was already insane, but he's probably more insane.
Because that's what I was thinking about. Like, how do you even prove this stuff? Because
he just admitted it all.
Well, luckily in your case he did, but there's probably so many stories out there where people have had effed up things happen to them, and they don't have the phone call. They don't have.
In a lot of cases, these fucked up people aren't telling anybody because they have repeated the cycle. And they're among 5 people that were abused by one person. One person creates 5 monsters. One monster, you cut off its head and it becomes 10 more. It's like a hydra, but a really fucked up one. You don't get 2 heads, you get 10.
Have any hard evidence?
Yep.
They were probably just scared and they didn't think to record a phone call. I mean, and for you, it happened so many times over and over and over. But think about all the situations too where
100%.
It happens.
A lot of times they're just brainwashed into thinking it's normal. Like that, they don't even know that it's a bad thing until later when they're like, "Oh, this is definitely bad, but I've been doing it for so long, it's ingrained in me. I can't not do it."
Once, and they can't even. There's no way to convict someone.
Yeah, and so luckily we had the call, and he, the judge, in my case, after getting all of the people speaking so glowingly about this person and all of the letters and all of this stuff, he was like, the judge was a badass. He goes, you seem to have a lot of friends, and but I just want to let you know, then I'm paraphrasing, I don't know, this was 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, wow, more than that. Drake and Josh was 20 years ago. And so he goes, I just...
Well, hold on. Don't fucking do that. Wait, hold on. Drake and Josh was 20 years ago. Let me let that sink in. Holy shit. Drake and Josh was 20 years ago. All right.
You know, you have a lot of friends and people showing up for you today, and they didn't hear the tape. So the people there, that's one thing that they didn't hear. So that's one thing I can say, okay, maybe. But still, you don't...
It is still... No. Still. The way... not knowing anything that happened except for it was a man and a child, like, get out of here with that. I don't care. I think if you're doing all that kind of stuff, man, I think you're gonna be locked in a box for a very long time.
It's whatever. They're forgiven. So they go. He goes. Everyone who's shown up for you.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. That he just, he kind of turns the switch back off, and he's like, I'm gonna forgive them. I'm not gonna get mad about it.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Has zero impact on my decision today. Zero. And you're very lucky that your mom, I think he was like trying to really like dig at him. Like, because he goes, you're really lucky that your mom could afford an expensive attorney, because what I'm going to hand down to you is not what I want to give you nor what you deserve, because ladies and gentlemen of the court, I heard the tapes. I heard the tapes. And I was just like, whoa. And everyone in the courtroom was like, tapes? Like, what? Like, what? You know? And he's like, so congratulations basically on having a lot of friends, but they didn't help you. And you're really lucky that you have a mom that came to your side, because...
Yeah, all these people, they wrote those letters for fucking nothing. Disgusting.
You'd be going to jail for a long time.
Wow. So did he get the maximum of
No,
what?
he got 16 months in jail, which he got...
What the fuck? I thought he was like in prison or something.
Which he got let out early and then
That's what I was
went
wondering.
to work at Disney Channel.
What? Like, how did...
Whoa. Hold on. Hold on. What was that guy's name? Brian Peck? Where's he working right now? What's he doing? There's no way. What's he doing now? Allegations and conviction. Alright. Freaks of nature. Okay. Worked on... Alright. He is openly gay. He lives in LA. Has not worked in the entertainment industry since 2019. What was the last thing he worked on? Well, apparently he ain't doing nothing. Or at least nothing noteworthy.
How does he end up with 16 months after the judge
Yeah, then he
was
went
like...
and worked on family movies with kids and worked on, Jack and the Beanstalk with Gilbert Gottfried and Chevy Chase and a bunch of movies with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I think Chevy Chase and Gilbert Gottfried, they've been in Hollywood. They know what's going on. They most likely also some disgusting freaks. I'm not gonna cast judgment on them, though. But they were Hollywood people, too. Well, Gilbert Gottfried isn't anymore, so we won't cast shade on the dead.
Yeah.
And went and worked on the Disney Channel as a registered sex offender. But that's dope. Welcome to Hollywood. Hey.
I'm curious now, like...
Yeah, yep. Welcome to Hollywood, baby. Bunch of pedos. Satan worshippers. Everything's run by demons!
We're parents now, and like thinking about you as a child, like going into this. From what I understand, this was something that you independently wanted, was like the entertainment industry, and something you sought out. Your parents weren't a part of the industry at all, correct? So then, do you think any part of it was like your parents like wanting to follow your dreams, but just not being equipped to handle like the caliber of... I don't know. I guess it's also hard because it's like, obviously your parents, it's not their fault, anything that happened. But I wonder if there's a part of you that feels some type of way about not feeling protected as a child going into the industry.
Well, it's difficult because, you want to go, how could the parents be put in, let their kids be put in but it's different. It's hard because it's the same thing with like, you see the Olympics, right? What happened with the Olympics. And it's hard to blame the parents because you have these Olympic coaches that are telling you, this is how you get the gold medal.
Totally.
Do you know how to get the gold medal? Do you know how to get the gold medal? I know how to get the gold medal, okay? By the way, today, your daughter has a physical. She needs to go into the physical. Okay. Right? Like, so as a...
Yeah, exactly. Don't get your children involved with these weird adults. They need to be well vetted. And if they're working with children in these types of situations that make lots and lots of money, they're probably creepy fucking weirdos.
The parent, you want to be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go. Oh, or you know, you're not at the camp with her every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's off working at camp. Okay, she's going to the physicals. She's getting her things done. Like,
Yeah, and that's kind of your fault as a parent. You should not be doing that. That fucking sucks. Like, you should be with your children. Don't let other people who are not, like, your immediate family use your children for money. They're there for money, to make them money. Like, come on, man. Use your brain.
you as a parent are going, these people bring home the gold for the United States of America.
Yeah.
Is there a safer place my daughter could be?
And so for, I guess,
And now you take it as the parents in the entertainment industry, they don't know how to make movies. They don't know where they're supposed to stand. They don't know who they're allowed to talk to. They don't know what they're going to do that is going to bug the producer and get their child fired. They don't know, you know, we go to the green room. Oh, okay. Like, well, the kid.
Yeah, people being complacent is the reason it got so bad. Because if nobody let their children be in movies at all, they'd find a way to like get parents to let them by not being creepy and fucking weird. Because everybody has to be loud. Do not allow your children to be alone with creepy weirdos who are like making money off of your children. It's pretty easy to like keep your children out of that. I don't know what gets in people's heads that they want their kid to be a celebrity. It's fucking insane. Why would you want that?
Kid has to go to set. Like, you just don't know. So there's so many opportunities for, and I'm not saying that this is an evil industry, okay? Because everybody has bad actors and everything has ability to be infiltrated. But
I think it's an industry run by incredibly evil people. I don't think everything about the industry is evil. I don't think everybody in it's evil. But the foundation is holding up all this evil. And it doesn't have to be like that. We can go build our house somewhere else and have our own thing that doesn't have a bunch of evil in it. But no, everybody's worried about how much money they're going to make. Now they're going to be blacklisted. And at this point, it's just like you're wanting your kid to have like a job to make them a multimillionaire for what? Make your own movies. You don't know how? Too bad. You want your kid to be in movies? Make movies. Like, I'm not trying to tell you how to parent, but, you know, use your fucking brain.
because you do have people who see that and go, hey, you're new. This is how it's done. Like, hey, you don't, hey, when they tell you parents go in the green room and your kid goes to set, you don't have to go to the green room. Just don't be walking around and going up to your kid going, hey, smile bigger, and hey, look at, you know, just don't be that parent. Just go stand over there and watch your kid work.
Yeah.
But be present and be there. That's going to be fine. They just put the parents over there because most parents are standing over there like they're at a beauty pageant going,
Yeah.
and the director's going, he's in the middle of a take. Get this parent out of here.
Yeah.
So that's what they're trying to get out of the,
Totally.
you know what I mean? Is the parents that are like, the director will say, hey, that was really great. Just like that. Give me one more. And then the parent will run in and be like, you didn't even cry.
Oh.
There were no tears. You cried in the car. You did it right in the car. Put the tears. Make them the tears. Show them.
Yeah, the parents are creepy weirdos, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, normal people don't want their kids to be celebrities. They just want their kids to be normal. Grow up to be normal. Have normal lives. With no trauma.
The tears. And the director's like,
Yeah.
I just had a great take. I was just going to get another great take. And now this kid's all in his head because this mom is now thinking she's a director of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want the kid crying. I don't want the kid, like... So that's what,
Yeah.
when they say, hey, parents, go over there, is really what they're trying to get rid of.
yeah.
But then you have people who can weaponize that, infiltrate that, and go, hey, I know best, and I know how to get your kid to the next level, and I know how to get, and, oh, hey, kid, you know, your parents should not be your manager, because then that gives them the opportunity to steal your money, and it gives them opportunity to do this, and opportunity to do that, and then...
Yeah, well, that's kind of up to the kids whenever they grow up, whether or not they want to sue their parents and blame their parents for all of that. Come on. Yeah, he's right. It's all disgusting. It is all so gross.
It starts going, oh, huh, what,
I appreciate
like
that.
your parents are more likely to steal your...
And it's not just like there's one guy who's hiding in the shadows. Like, nobody knows that he's a piece of shit, because what he's gonna do is he's gonna get his friends in that are also pieces of shit. And they know other pieces of shit, and they get those guys in. And sometimes they get in good people, and they realize, hey, this person did a shitty thing, and they're like, hey, I do this shitty thing. You want to do these shitty things together? And then they do it. They do exactly that. And there's a whole lot of it, because there's a lot of money. When you get a bunch of people who are obsessed with money and obsessed with making art because they're up their own asses and they think they're amazing and everything they do is great, yeah, that's what you get. Bunch of weird, disgusting freaks, and about 25%, maybe more of them, are pedos.
your money than some business manager you've never met before.
That's a really good point.
But it's 14-year-old logic. So
Yeah. I appreciate that nuance, because I can see where a common criticism would be like, oh, the parents, but I feel like that is like misplaced.
Earlier you referenced you and your dad having some sort of falling out at one point, and it seems like I noticed on your Instagram, I was taking a look at your Instagram today and I saw you posted about